So receiving a short seller report is an incredibly challenging situation for a company, and often the knee-jerk reaction is to get very defensive. And I think sitting down, reading through the allegations as they're written, and having the level perspective is really important.
So a couple of things to think about as you start to digest and sort of read a short seller report. One is, from a forensic accounting perspective, do I need additional industry expertise? Short seller reports that deal with the banking industry and the insurance industry, many times there is help by the short seller. The short sellers themselves, we have known from experience, do use their own consultants and expertise from the outside to draft these reports. So having your own industry expertise, like we have in-house at FTI, to analyze the insurance industry, banking industry, or the industry ramifications, and whether we need to bring someone in to assist with that investigation to help rebut the short seller points is key.
So what I've seen by companies as far as approach and ultimate decision to investigate is really threefold. And the first is the legitimacy or the credibility of the claims themselves. Do the claims align with the company's bear case? Are the claims consistent with analysts or the market's concerns that have been raised in the past? Ultimately trying to evaluate the credibility of the claims themselves. The second is the short seller's credibility. Taking a look at the short seller's past campaigns, its history can inform ultimately the credibility of the attack and whether there's merit there. The third is the street's reaction. Companies will often look at the trading volume, the effect on stock price, and see what the street thinks through the changes of the market price of the company, what the street thinks of the short seller attack. So these factors are often weighed against whether launching the investigation would just add fuel to the fire, giving the short seller report or short seller attack a more credence than it deserves.
And so as a company thinks through how do we address these allegations against us, it really comes down to what do we need to investigate? How quickly do we need to investigate? How thoroughly do we need to investigate? And then how do we respond once we do this investigation? And so in conducting this internal investigation into these allegations, it's really important for the company to think through, who should outside counsel be? Do we need to hire a forensic accountant to help us think through these issues, identify the data sources? Who do we need to keep in the loop and address, and how does this engagement need to be structured? And that often involves dealing directly with the board, because these are often high-profile situations. And then how do you address your external parties that are relevant, which might be lenders, it might be your auditors, it might be outside third parties that have an interest in your company, or investors.
My experience has been the external auditors, being in the weeds of the books and records. They will be brutally honest on having read the report. They take a vested interest in it. Many times the audit firm and the audit team, because they sign the opinion, are referenced in these short seller reports. So they will be honest in terms of what they really think could be credible, and what they know based on their audit procedures and history is just really fluff and needs to be put by the wayside.
Ultimately, if an investigation is deemed necessary, a robust response with the right team is critical to separating fact from fiction in what can be often long and somewhat rambling short seller reports.